Welcome to The Message Behind the Melody, a podcast where faith, hope, and worship meet through the gift of music and lyrics. I'm your host, Jeff Larson, and with me, the incomparable, the one and the only, the namesake of the podcast, Melody Larson.
Hello.
How you doing, hon?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So
Good.
today, episode 8, I believe. So
Wow.
yeah, just kind
8?
of stacking them up.
I
Yeah,
know.
stacking them up.
We're becoming pros.
Yeah, well,
Veterans.
maybe. But I think before we really get started, we have to address the
That your
elephant. Huh?
What's the elephant in the room?
I don't know. What were you going to say?
I was going to say the fact that your head was half cut off in the last
Oh,
podcast.
well, yeah, and actually, the elephant in the room has to do with my hair. You know, it's just at some point I go through stages in my haircut where I have about 3 days where I think my hair looks pretty good. Today's not one of them. I feel like
I think it looks nice.
I think it gets to the point I look
You
like.
you have a lot of people envying those
No,
locks.
I get to the point where it's like Charlton Heston coming off the Mount Transfiguration as Moses. That's kind of what I feel like. So anyway, it's time for me to make an appointment to see my favorite hairstylist. Done my hair for 20 years, Maria. So anyway, I need to
Okay.
get to see her. But anyway, so that's out of the way. And I did cut my head off, not on purpose in the video last week, but it probably hid the fact that
So you should have done that this week.
yeah, I
Then
could
it
have done
wouldn't be
that
an
this week,
issue.
and then nobody
The hair
actually
wouldn't
noticed.
be an issue.
All right. Okay. Well, so sorry about that. I promise you that it gets way better from here. Today's episode, really, I think when I heard this song, this one is one that actually, I knew that you had talent. I knew that it was like an amazing thing, but I have to say, and I've said it a lot, but this is my absolute favorite song. It has total star quality. You could hear this song being played on any station, from gospel, country, today, popular, hit, whatever you want to call it. It literally has that kind of star power for me. And it's called, let's go ahead and talk about it
The
here.
little things.
The Little Things. And it's interesting because what an amazing title that really kind of sums up, I think, really the way that God and Jesus interact with us in our lives. So let's start with this whole the namesake of this podcast is The Little Things, but also the title of this. So let's go ahead and talk about that
Yes.
for a second.
Well, the story behind the
Mhm.
lyrics of the song.
Yeah.
Well, I have mentioned in previous podcasts that I have been doing a lot of walking.
Mm.
So I put a lot of miles out on the canal. And this happened to be one morning where I felt, you go through those frustrated moments where you're out walking, and the lyrics of this song says, walking along the path, kicking rocks along the way.
Mhm.
I'm frustrated with what had been the outcome of my day. And so I felt like that. I felt like I was kicking rocks, and I had stubbed my toe, but I didn't know how to write the lyric where
Yeah,
you stub your toe, and
Yeah.
that hurt. But anyway, so I was walking and I actually stumbled and tripped.
Mm.
And I've been nursing that stupid hamstring
Right.
of mine. I had a little hamstring injury. And so when I tripped, and it kind of it pulled
almost
it.
aggravated
Yeah.
it,
And
yeah.
so I was just already irritated. And
Mm.
then I stumble and fall. And
Now let's stop this. You weren't irritated and frustrated to the level of Jeff that Jeff gets here.
no, I don't think I've ever gotten to that in my life. But that's for another podcast.
Yeah. Okay. But
The
you were
one
frustrated.
about repenting and
No. Okay. All right. Okay. So you were frustrated and angry. Yeah.
yeah, just frustrated. Those times when you just feel like nothing's going right,
Mhm.
everything seems to be going wrong, and then you kind of are like, "Where are you,
Yeah.
God?"
Yeah.
And I was having one of those moments,
Yeah.
and just a lot of thoughts going through my head. I try and walk 10,000 steps, so I'm at least walking 5 miles. So it's a lot of time to have in your mind and your thoughts what you're going through. And that happened to be a day that was what I felt.
Yeah.
And so I stumbled and fell, and the song is like, I stumbled on a rock that knocked me flat. I stumbled on the rock, but this rock wasn't quite in the shape of the heart.
Mm.
It's just the lyrics how I wrote it. But probably about 50 steps up the way, I was walking, and I tend to watch where I'm walking because it is a rocky,
Hmm.
there's a lot of rocks and you can kind of,
Certain
yeah,
even surfaces
yeah, there's
there.
uneven surfaces and I don't want to twist my ankle. Well, I happened to not be paying attention when one, stubbed my toe, and then just a few steps later, tripped and fell.
Yeah.
And it was maybe 50 steps that I look down and there is a rock shaped like a heart.
Mm.
And right then, the second I saw it, I felt like God was just saying, I love you.
Hmm.
And that's exactly when I saw it, it's almost like I could hear him say that to me.
Mm.
And and so then I start walking and like the lyrics start coming to me. And I wrote that song before I even came back home because,
Wow.
I mean, you remember,
Yeah, I do. I do remember that.
I came home and said I just wrote this song,
Yeah.
and you were just,
I did. I did. It was a really amazing. Like for me, again, just the lyrics, the whole tune, the everything about it. I loved it. And I think of that, and so you're saying, well, you didn't really necessarily write the lyrics the exact same way it happened, but I don't know. I would not necessarily the rock that tripped you, but by the time you had a chance to already digest what had already kind of
well,
happened.
and I kind of got up limping,
Yeah.
like my hamstring felt
Yeah.
like it was pulled again, and so even more so frustrated,
Yeah.
And this one, well, it's the chorus says, it was a rock in the shape of a heart laying right in front of me.
Hmm.
It was as if God himself had put it right there for me to see.
Yeah, I think that's very true to the story. Very
And
true.
then no matter what I'm going through, it's the little things he puts in
Hmm.
my way, the little things, so I can hear him say, I love you. And
Hmm.
that's,
Well, and I think that, for that, the little things. And sometimes we think of the little things as being maybe that tender mercy or something that would be uplifting. But the reality is that it took that rock that you tripped on, starting with the one you stubbed your toe on to the trip. It really took all of that for you to be focused to see that heart. I don't know that you'd have seen the heart without
maybe
the
I wouldn't
fall.
have noticed
I
it. And,
probably
and
not.
now out there, it's like, I can't believe how many
Mm,
like things that I see, that
mm,
I see hearts
mhm.
a lot.
Well, maybe you can share that too as part of your story because one of your dear friends that is I think can I
She's the
say?
one I send.
Well, hang on. She's probably the number one fan of the podcast.
Is she?
Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm
Well,
guessing.
she just is
The
she's probably my most supportive
Yeah.
friend
Well,
ever.
she is definitely an amazing individual, and she, again, the probably number one fan of the show. And but she has.
I wish I would have cut and pasted, because it's obviously on my text and I can't see it. Her word for word of what she saw in the shower that day. Well, now she's got this rock in the shape of a heart right in her shower.
Well, yeah, and that's what I was going to say was is
And
that
she was listening to the
I
song
know
in
that.
the shower.
Well, okay, so you're ruining my part of the
Okay,
story.
sorry.
So that's what I was saying is that here's someone who's number one supporter of the show. She's had access to some of these songs. So everybody that's listening to the podcast today, it's been released. We've released the song a couple of weeks ago, so there is a chance you could have heard it. And I have actually used it as the background music in a couple of my social media posts, but most people don't notice those either. But she heard it, and this is someone she didn't just move into this house. She's been in the house for how long? And all of a sudden,
Yeah, they've lived there for years and
yeah,
years.
you sent this, and you talked about this rock in the shape of a heart, and how that was God speaking to you. Well, right in the shower wall, she has this beautiful shower, tiled shower with rock and stone, natural stone, and right there, front and center.
The most perfect heart.
Yeah. And anyway, so for her to see it, let you know that, that's the message. I think it's that he will speak to you, but you got to be looking for it.
Mhm.
And, in this case, your friend knew to now look for, hey, anytime I see a shape of a heart, that's
I'm
God
just gonna
speaking.
know that
Yeah.
he's speaking to me,
Hmm.
and it's like he's closer than we realize,
Yeah.
and like the message that I kind of got through this is like how he allows you to stumble.
Hmm.
It's like here I'm frustrated and
Yeah.
then I fall, which makes it even worse, only to then see that he's right there,
And I think you said that really, I mean, I think, eloquently the way you said it. You said he allows you to stumble. He didn't make you stumble. He
Mm-mm.
didn't, he didn't, do anything to put you in a situation where you were stumbling. For whatever reason, the stumble happened. And I think we wrestle with that all the time as good things, bad things happen to good people, and, trials and all of that. And you said it very, very, I think, aptly, to say that he
Allows
allowed
it,
you to
allows it.
stumble, and it was a blessing
Well,
to you.
and that and it's easier said on the other side when you actually see that, oh, he really wanted to tell me he loved me.
Yeah,
Like he needed me to stumble so then I can maybe hear it or realize it. Um, but
yeah,
it was one of those moments where you don't think, it's at the end of the
yeah. I had an experience, and this story, and it's one I actually shared in a talk in church not too long ago. But I had an experience right around Thanksgiving, and everybody that knows us knows that that's our busy time. That's when we're 1,000% overbooked and worked up and whatnot. And I was leaving very early because I knew everything in the day had to happen, without a whole lot of margin for error. And I get into the catering van here outside of the house, turn the key, starts up, put it in reverse. Before I got to the out, parking, getting out of the parking, the driveway, car died. I mean, dead, like DEAD, dead. Just not going to move, not turn over, no power, no nothing. And that kind of reaction there, or that kind of incident would normally tailspin me. And, because again, it's not so much that the car, it's just that I knew what that meant. Any delay meant that I may not get the food out that we needed to have for the different orders that were already in place. And I got out of the car very frustrated, threw open the hood, propped it open, and immediately, as my normal reaction to try to get into diagnose and, like, mechanic mode, but it just came to me. It's like, you know what? The prophet has asked us and told us that the powers of heaven are there for us, and that we should learn how to call upon the powers of heaven. And that flashed through my mind. I'm like, I don't have time to deal with this right now. I know I can, but I didn't have the time. And I remember distinctly just speaking directly to this van, which is obviously an inanimate object, but I remember distinctly saying, "You will work, and you will get me to Sassy's, and you will get me to our event. And then and only then will I work on you, and I will fix you after that." and I think I even mentioned that it would be 1 o'clock because I knew by the time we delivered lunch and all that, that it would be like at 1 o'clock, I will fix you. And it was so powerful. I mean, I felt power. And I sat down in the car and I put my seatbelt on. When you're getting in a car that you don't think's going to run, the last thing you would do is put your seatbelt on. But I remembered that. I put my seatbelt on, I put the keys in the ignition, and I turned it. I didn't think it was gonna turn. I didn't hope, I didn't cross my fingers. I knew it was gonna turn on, and that car fired up, and it got me to Sassy's. And there were some other things that went on to do it. The end of the story is that, yeah, I did fix the vehicle, and when I did look at my watch, it was like 3 minutes after 1.
But didn't you kind of have a idea where you knew what part?
Yeah, that was the second part of the story is that as I looked at the clock in the morning, I realized that not only was I on track, but I was actually ahead of schedule. But it then, when you have time to think, that's when you're like, I was like, oh man, maybe the van won't start, you know. So I prayed at this time. The first time wasn't a prayer and it wasn't like it
It
was a
was you will
command.
work.
Yeah, it was a command. It was, "You're gonna work." The second time was a prayer, and it was like, "Thank you, Heavenly Father, for allowing this to go this way, to take the stress off of me and my staff for us to get this out. But I need this van one more time." And again, I reiterated, after 1, I'll fix it. But it was right then that I was shown. I mean, it was as clear as day what the part was, what the problem was. Now, mind you, I had looked at it for maybe 45 seconds tops, but I knew what the problem was. And with the
Well, I
confidence that,
remember we were catering and you
yeah,
brought the food to us because I set up.
yeah,
You brought the food to me, and then you're next thing I know, you're out in the parking lot as we're breaking down. You're out in the parking lot fixing the van.
yeah, I had time to stop at the auto parts store. I bought the part that I needed, and I knew what tool it would take to do that, and I didn't have time to go home and get my tool, so I actually bought the tool that I needed, and I bought 1 tool and 1 part, and I was
And you
able to
fixed it
I fixed it.
right there in the
Yeah,
parking lot.
yeah, but again, that's so for me, as I've recalled and retold that story a couple of times, I think, and I'm like, you know what? I am so thankful that that van didn't work. That's kind of a crazy thing. You think, well, I'm so thankful the van did work, but I'm actually more thankful that it didn't work. I'm
Because
thankful
of
that
the
that's
experience.
right. And the opportunity to exercise faith the way that our prophet has encouraged us to do. And it literally changed the way I think about things. I realized in that moment that I have access to the powers of heaven. And the powers of heaven, we know with the powers of heaven, all things are possible.
Absolutely.
Fixing a van, correcting and maybe fixing a soul, if you will. So there's a lot of things, but I'm grateful for that stumble. Like you had that rock. I mean, would you trade that stumble or trip for?
No,
Yeah,
I mean, my hamstring's still sore when I'm out there,
yeah.
but it was interesting because today, um, when I went out to go walking, and I knew that we were going to be doing this podcast, um, and so I was thinking about it, and I was looking up, just kind of not paying attention. And again, at this time, I actually stumbled, but it kind of hurt the side of my foot where
Mm,
you have that. Anyway, I have this thing on my foot
hmm.
that anytime I hit it, it just sends me through the roof. Well, that's what happened.
Yeah,
It sent me through the roof. And then I started thinking about like taking your eyes off of the path,
the
you
main
know?
thing. Yeah,
And then I was like, is that what he really wants us to talk about during
yeah.
this podcast? Or I just, that thought came into my
Hmm.
mind. And I thought, okay, well, that's kind of crazy that we're going to do the Little Things podcast, and it's about stumbling and falling and seeing that he loves you.
Yeah.
But then also, you're like maybe the course correction or keeping your eyes on the path, where if you take your eyes off the path, how easy it is to stumble. But then in the whole stumbling, knowing that he's really right there to catch you.
Yeah.
And did you have a thought?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I thought it was interesting because when I was thinking about this and thinking about the experience and writing when I wrote the lyrics down and write in my journal about the experience, thoughts come to my mind. But I came across this scripture in Psalm 37, 23, 24, and it says, "The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delights in his way. Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for the Lord upholds him with his hands."
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's like we may like get off course, but he's always there to course correct.
Yeah.
And he's always there, to catch us when we fall, or,
Yeah.
let us see something that helps us realize, oh, wow, I need to get myself up, dust myself off. And that's part of the lyric. That's the part of the lyric that says, I pick myself up.
You said
It
you
says,
were.
I got up and kicked that rock that had made me trip,
Yeah. Yeah.
But it says, I got to put the glasses back on because I can't
That's all right.
see.
You look good in the glasses.
I do?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then maybe I can just keep them on. It says, I picked myself off the ground and I dusted myself off. I wiped the tears from my eyes and heard these words so soft. Sometimes I let you stumble on rocks along the way. I will also put the little things in front of you each day.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah, and it's kind of counter to what we, as mankind, or people just on our paths. It's counter. What we would like to see is this is maybe even a gradual ascension to heaven. It's like our path back. We kind of want to see that just gradual, smooth, straight path up there. But it's never that way, is it? In fact, I would say that no one has ever had that kind. We may think that people do, but I would think that we would spend more time off course than on course. And
Absolutely.
it's those course corrections, whether it's the stumble that, that allows us to get our bearings again, whether it's an opportunity like with the catering ban or whatever, those things that challenge us that then realize, man, that's, my day that day did not go like this.
But don't you love the realization of just like, oh, wow, like God is just right there.
Yeah.
And he is, and he's in the details of everything. And he's just right there waiting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like when you know it,
Yeah.
when you know it. And like I said it in the lyric, it's like, I knew it right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it with all my heart
Mm-hmm.
that he had put that rock there.
Yeah.
That it was as if God himself had put it there for me to see.
Yeah.
And then it says it was God himself that put it there. Because he did, maybe he was like, you know what? I'm just going to make this visible so Melody sees it today,
Yeah.
because definitely she's going to fall right flat on her face and,
Mm-hmm.
but she's going to see this and recognize it. Oh,
Yeah.
instead of blaming God, it's like for everything that goes wrong in your life,
Yeah.
you're actually realizing, wait a minute, he allows these things to happen. So then you do realize
Yeah.
that he is right there when you have those aha moments.
Reason to call on the powers of heaven.
Yes.
Reason to call on and the comfort or the
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you have those moments where it's almost jaw dropping,
Mm-hmm.
where you're just going, wow.
Definitely.
And sometimes you just look and go, wait a minute, am I really seeing what I'm seeing or feeling what I'm feeling
Yeah.
and recognizing, oh my gosh, he is in the little things.
Yeah. No, definitely. And I mean, I think that's probably the best part of the song to me is that it just helps us all remember that these experiences and all that. It really becomes the little things that make the biggest difference. So.
Absolutely.
Is there anything from this that if, somebody's tuning in for the first time and they haven't quite understood? So again, the format's going to be that when we're done talking, we get to introduce people to the not only the song but a music video that helps tell the story a little bit about the song. Is there anything that you want people to pay closer attention to on the lyrics or anything that might get lost or skipped over?
I mean, the story of the song is just what is
Mm-hmm.
so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But it is just realizing that God is really just right there in the littlest details,
Yeah.
the littlest rock. I mean, this happened to be about that size,
Yeah, and we have
you
the
know,
picture of that.
and Luann,
Oh,
Luz.
yeah.
Anyway, her rock is just probably about that big.
Oh.
I would think in her shower, the perspective of
Well,
it.
I don't know. I saw the picture, the stuff in the shower. I mean, I was thrown. You tell
You
me
were
that.
thinking it was bigger?
Oh, I thought it was huge, but
Oh, well,
I don't know. I haven't seen it in person,
maybe we
but
should ask her.
I would think that for those of you that are watching, maybe you have had that kind of little things experience, the same as Melody or the same as I have. And if you'd like to share, what it is that you've seen, where you've known that God loves you and that he is aware of you. Not just aware, but like acutely aware of all the details of your life, where it's beyond a shadow of a doubt. By all means, feel free to light us up in the comments and
Yeah,
tell us on
absolutely.
that. So anyway.
It's it was a really sweet experience, and every time I listen to this song, it just
Hmm.
I can't help but just feel happy and feel loved. And
Yeah.
anyways, I think that we covered. I mean, I'm just gonna really quick look through my lyrics and just double check that we.
Well, while you're doing that, I'll kind of give us up a little wrap up here. As you know, that the best way that you can support us, and we really, really appreciate all of the comments and the thumbs up and all of that. But by all means, please, if you are able to, light us up in the comments. Just let us know. The best thing that you can do to help us spread the word is obviously share. If you share the podcast, you share the link with others, it gives them an opportunity to hear or see something. And this, again, is a very easy, subtle way to share your beliefs with someone else. And it allows Melody and I to do the talking, but it allows you to just introduce this to people that you may know that would benefit from this. So by all means, feel free to share it. And then be sure to subscribe. If you haven't done that yet, subscribe to the channel, and that way you get notifications anytime that we put out any content. If it's a music video, a spiritual thought, a link to a new podcast, or maybe even revisit some of the highlights from our previous podcasts. Anytime we do that, if you're subscribed to the channel, you'll get notified if you've turned on notifications. And that helps us, of course, stay relevant and spread the word. But by all means, like, share, and subscribe. That does it for us. So,
Well, this is part of my notes, and I think this is a good way to close. But it says, "Don't overlook the little things God puts in your path. Don't assume a stumble means he's far away. Many times it's when he's the closest."
hmm,
And then slow down, look up, pay attention. And God is speaking, not always in loud moments, but in quiet ones you would have missed if you never fell.
yeah, oh, that's beautiful. And I do think that that's a great way to wrap it up. So, do you want to introduce the song for us today?
Enjoy the song, The Little Things. It's our favorite.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time on The Message Behind the Melody.
Walking along the path, kicking rocks along the way, frustrated with what had been the outcome of my day. It seemed as if nothing at all was going right. To keep the tears from flowing, I really had to fight. I wondered why it seemed God had forgotten me, that I was insignificant, not worthy to be seen. Then something happened, it stopped me in my tracks. I stumbled on a rock that knocked me flat. I got up to kick that rock that had made me trip, and what I saw, it made my heart skip. It was a rock in the shape of a heart laying right in front of me. It was as if God himself had put it there for me to see. No matter what I'm going through, the little things he puts in my way, the little things so I can hear him say, I love you. I picked myself off the ground and I dusted myself off. I wiped the tears from my eyes and heard these words so soft. Sometimes I let you stumble on rocks along the way. I will also put the little things in front of you each day. Oh, it was a rock in the shape of a heart laying right in front of me. It was as if God himself had put it there for me to see. No matter what I'm going through, the little things he puts in my way, the little things so I can hear him say, I love you. I knew it right then and there. I knew with all of my heart. No matter the rocky road, he will show me how much he loves me and lighten my load. With a rock in the shape